Hey, what's up, guys? It's Clint. Welcome back to another episode of Versus. We got a crazy show for you today. Today we got... Who do we have? I don't know. Let's see. The Burrowers versus Bone Tomahawk. That's right. Before we get into that, guys, subscribe. You know how it goes. Let's get Curtis in here. Curtis, what's happening, dude?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Not too
Yeah.
much. Happy Friday to everybody.
Happy Friday, everybody. Let's see who we got in our... we had a little sketchiness in our opening, so let's see who's in the chat, if anyone. Of course, we got Bobby. Bobby, how you doing? Air horn for Bobby. Ow! Yeah.
Hello, Bobby. So glad you make it.
So glad to see you. So glad. And so glad we got Bakertown in the chat. Oh, that's Curtis. Never mind. Still glad you're in the chat, Curtis.
Oh, thank you.
Holy smokes, man. These are two crazy movies. We got 6 watching, so that's good. The first movie we put on this is Bone Tomahawk. This is starring Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox, Richard Jenkins. This is not Leroy Jenkins. And this crazy movie. And then we got Burrowers. Another crazy movie. These are 2 horror westerns. Or would you consider both of them horror, Curtis?
Yeah, or Western horror,
Suspense
or horror westerns.
horror?
I don't know. Yeah, to a degree. I mean,
like I always think horror to be a little more supernatural, and one was a little more supernatural than the other, you know.
definitely, yeah. One was definitely more supernatural, but I would say one was still definitely more horrific than the other.
I think the one that's not supernatural was more horrifying than the other one, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Man. Let's see. How are you guys doing in the chat? How are you guys doing tonight? Everybody out there? Yeah? Everybody? I was having some issues. Man, my hair's looking poofy today.
Little poof.
Little poof. Woo, get that poof down. I'll get my poof down.
Get your poof down. I will say, so I was able to watch a couple movies this week. Besides our regular stuff, I watched on Prime. If you haven't seen it, Dave Makes a Maze. It's just this weird, fun movie that I'd never heard of, and it's really cool visually. Like it's really neat.
Is it
and another one was
amazing? Is it amazing?
It's quite amazing. Quite.
See what I did there?
Yeah. It was great until you pointed it out.
See what I did there? Amazing. He makes a maze. It's amazing. Okay.
Very good. Very good. The other one was Dark Was the Night. It's a Wendigo movie. And it was just really good tonally. It's not it was just a good movie. It was a horror, it's like a horror movie about a Wendigo, and it was, not a lot. I don't want to say not a lot happens, but it's really character driven. It's really good. And then I watched. Apparently there was a remake of Night of the Demons. I got through this freaking movie to the end, and then I realized I've already seen this piece of shit, and like it all came rushing back like a near death experience, and I was like, oh my god, I've seen this. It was just, I mean, I can't. Yeah, the original Night of the Demons is great, but I had this movie was bad on the rewatch. It's not terrible or anything, but it was just like, oh god, and it was so bad that my brain just forced it out of like my memory until the end came, and I was like, oh wait, like like the whole time I'm watching, I can't believe I haven't seen this, and then it was just, yeah, it sucks.
Holy smokes, man! What did I watch? I watched Andor. I watched House of the Dragon. Yeah, and what else exciting has been going on? James Gunn took over as the head of DC.
I saw that.
Yeah, which is awesome. I'm excited about that. And I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who's it's James Gunn and another producer.
Billy Smiddleton. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that his name?
Yeah, Billy Smiddleton.
That's not his name. Smiddleton? Come on, dude. Anyway, I'll look it up later. But it's exciting because on the creative end, James Gunn is really into the comics. He's done some pretty fun stuff. So I was delighted to hear that. I was like, cool. Another thing is he's got a good relationship with Marvel. So there's been a bunch of people that are like, what if there's a Marvel DC crossover? That'd be awesome. Yeah. So maybe something like that could happen down the line, which would be pretty awesome. Yeah. So let's see here. Well, let's get into these movies and stuff. And
Let's do it.
how you guys doing out there in Homeland? Great. Awesome. First movie's
Bobby,
Bone.
Bobby says she watched both of them. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Awesome.
She watched both. Thank you, man.
A Bone Tomahawk and Burrowers. 2 Westerns, 2 scary ones. You know the rules. Points, skull to start, and they're going to start racking up more. So let's get into this. First off, let's get into the let us do the synopsises. For Bone Tomahawk, in the Old West, a sheriff, played by Kurt Russell, his deputy, Richard Jenkins, a gunslinger, Matthew Fox, or as I call him, Charlie Salinger, and a cowboy, because he was in Party of Five. I don't know if you ever saw that show. And a cowboy, Patrick Wilson, embark on a mission to rescue 3 people from a savage group of cave dwellers. One of those people was Patrick Wilson's wife. That's why they're so hardcore, hell bent on getting in there and getting them back. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I really enjoyed this movie. Of course, you could have Kurt Russell build a bird cage and just film the making of a bird cage, and it's Kurt Russell doing it, and I'd be like, dude, that was awesome. I kind of want to go
see that.
I want to go build a cage now because Kurt Russell's badass, you know.
Totally.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't really matter what Kurt Russell does; it's always great. So
Kurt Russell walks outside of his house to check out his new bird cage, and I'm like hanging on it, like, hey, tweet.
I was gonna say you could have a video of Kurt Russell taking a never mind. And then the other movie, Burrowers, was really fun. David Busey, Clancy Brown, Galen Hutchinson. Let's see, a lesser known cast, but it was still a fun movie. They had poor man's Pedro Pascal. Let's see here. Poor man's Pedro Pascal is the guy who gets scratched and he ends up changing. I'm like, that guy's like poor man's a Mandalorian. Just before an Irish actor gets married in the Wild West, his fiance's village is raided. Together with other ranchers, he searches for clues. However, a young woman makes the men doubt that they are on the right track. That didn't even happen in the movie. What? Like, let me read that to you again, Curtis. Pay attention. Pay attention to me.
I know.
The Irish rancher just before an Irish rancher gets married in the Wild West. First of all, I didn't even know that guy was a rancher. They never talked about his ranch. They never said anything. They made him sound like a poor Irish guy who didn't have anything, who was just courting this young lady. Okay, so first off, yeah, so that's weird. Where was his ranch? They didn't make him look like he had any money or anything like that. Okay, his fiance's village is raided. Yeah, if by village you mean one house on the prairie. Yeah. I didn't see a village. Okay. We're going to critique this synopsis and all right, together with other ranchers, I didn't see any other rancher. Well, I saw one cowboy guy, the one big cowboy guy. He searches for clues. Okay. However, a young woman makes the men doubt they are on the right track. I don't remember that part. The only young woman they could be talking about is the Native American girl, the Indian girl.
And I think that's who the synopsis is talking about. It's got to be.
But she doesn't even really say that. She just says, "Hey, I hope you die." That's like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to help you. You're white, and I hope you die. You killed all the buffalo. This is your fault. Go die. You're marked. Go die. Okay, go ahead.
Done and done. They realize they're going on the wrong track when they're going with the soldier guy, but that's like in the first 20 minutes of the movie. And then they remember they go out on their own. So they at some point realize they're on the wrong track, but it has nothing to do with the Native American woman.
That's weird.
She does after a while. Okay.
Does she though? The budget this budget for this movie was $7 million. They should have spent $7,001 and paid somebody $1 to write to write a better synopsis of this movie.
That's why it went straight to DVD. Like a lot of people.
Wow.
Like I found out. Apparently, this was going to be a theater release from Lionsgate, and they just dumped it on DVD. And it's like, well, now we know why, because the synopsis. Somebody read that and was like, "No, we're not putting this in theaters."
Yeah, we'll put the synopsis out and see if it gets any traction, and if so, then we'll release it in theaters. People are like, this sucks.
It's just some guys wandering around, and then somebody's like, "Hey, you're going the wrong way." And they're like, "Oh, thanks." Like that's basically what the synopsis is.
And if they were talking about a young woman being, we're going to get into all this, but the girl they found in the dirt, if it was that young woman, that would make them think they were on the right track because they found a clue, they found a body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe, but maybe at that time they still thought they were. I don't know. I'm confused by the synopsis. I'm going to just pretend we didn't read this, and we're going to move on. Thanks, synopsis people. All right, well let's we know how the points work. We already talked about that. Let's get into the good stuff.
All right.
Starting with cast. Who had the best cast?
This one I think is pretty easy.
Yeah, very
easy. You got Kurt Russell.
That's all you need.
Yeah, like you're kind of done.
Yep. Sorry, we got Kurt. Hey, where'd the hat come from? You got Kurt Russell. Best cast. You win.
Yeah. And besides that, the rest of the cast was awesome. I mean, Matthew Fox, Richard Grieco, Jenkins,
David Arquette. Did you see him? Your favorite wrestler?
Sid Haig. I mean, like, Lorna Hunt was in there, like, or Catherine. I mean, just this had a pretty good cast. I mean,
Lily Simmons is good. Oh yeah, and the mayor's wife comes in and was like, "Laces out."
It had Michael Pare in it from Streets of Fire.
Do you remember the Laces Out from lady from
That was her?
That was the mayor's wife. Ventura? Yeah.
Oh wow.
The police chief or police commissioner or whatever. I think she's the chief.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that at all.
She used to be the kicker, and she ended up the police chief. That was
gun is digging into my hip.
Yes, that one. That was her, and I'm like, what? And she's like, speak to my husband, and and Kurt Russell just keeps talking to her.
Whatever.
And he's like, whatever. We both know you're in charge, lady. It was pretty hilarious. I like the little nuances of that. Hey, what's up? I also liked Kurt Russell not putting up with any crap.
Yeah. I mean, the Bone Tomahawk synopsis, whenever it starts off and it's like a local sheriff in the Old West played by Kurt Russell, it could just stop right there. And I'd be like, whatever this movie is, I'm watching it.
I'm like, okay, Curtis, I'll take off my hat if you take off your hat. Perfect. All right, let's do it. So the cast, I think we both agree.
Yes.
Yeah, Bone Tomahawk wins that one.
And Bobby's right. I do love Clancy Brown as well. But yeah. Bone Tomahawk definitely has to take this one.
Definitely. Come on, Skulls. There we go. All right. 2 skulls for Kurt and no skulls for Bone. All right. And acting now. Now let's get into some real fun stuff. We got acting. Which movie had better acting? We have some scenes to play for you. Bone Tomahawk.
I've been thinking a lot about that flea circus. Did you see it?
Arthur wanted to go.
My wife said it was all a trick. We saw those fleas pull that little stagecoach right into the depot. She said, those fleas are dead. They're just glued to some mechanical contraption, you know. Still, I thought it was real. And I told her, I said, don't talk so loud. The performers will hear you. I believe those fleas are alive and talented.
Most flea circuses employ tricks, but the Sandersons use real living fleas.
I knew it was authentic. I just felt it.
Yeah, I liked that she did that. That was a sweet moment. The poor guy's scared. We're all gonna die, and he was a sweet dumb old guy. He was like that guy didn't have a lot of sense, but he was a nice guy, you know.
He was great.
Yeah.
He stole the show for me a little bit. I mean, Kurt Russell's always Kurt Russell, but Richard Jenkins as Chicory, that guy, I mean, was just great in every scene.
Yeah, he's just a sweet man. You know what I mean? You're like, oh,
Yeah.
you wanted him to come out of this thing. All right, and then so we got yeah. I thought the that girl and a lot of the Native American people in this movie were really good. Like
yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, well, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I think a lot of the acting in this was in the Burrow was really good. Like, I'm wondering why it got dumped, because Clancy Brown's always great, and she was great. The little Union soldier guy that killed all the Indians and stuff.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He played a shithead, but he played it so well.
Yeah, well, let's
honestly,
go.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we could jump into villain if you want, if you really want to talk about that guy.
We can, but the lead, the Irish guy, was probably the weakest one, and I think that's what kind of hurt the movie.
Yeah, he was good too, though. I thought he was good too.
I mean, he was good, but like I think Mothapok or whatever his name is, the other guy was way better. The guy that ended up being killed and his guts dissolved at the end.
Bobby says she thinks that the monsters were dumb.
Yeah, that hurt the movie, and maybe that's why they dumped it as well. Because I think that the practical version of them, like, they kind of look like these mole things. I think the idea was cool, and the practical effects when they were practical effects which was only a few scenes and shots. I think they looked pretty good, but when they were CG, it just it kind of ruined it, because the practical had this. They looked kind of rough skinned, and the lighting was correct, and then when they were CG, they were like real shiny and slimy looking.
You got to keep in mind this movie's from what is it, 2008? Yeah, 2008.
Yeah.
So their computer graphics were a lot crappier, especially on a movie that's $7 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they had to outsource some kids that work at Radio Shack to do the CG for this movie. So yeah, they were dumb, but I guess for what this movie is, I guess it's okay.
But I did like the idea of them. Like they only they gestate or whatever until for 3 human generations, and then they would come out, and they would normally eat the buffalo, like so the Indians or Native Americans didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
They would come out and they would eat the buffalo and just kind of stay away from them. But since the white man came over and killed all the buffalo, I thought it was a really cool idea. I think that this could be like a really cool movie. If of all the movies that need a remake, this is one of them that could be made into an awesome film.
You say 3 generations, like
I think that's what she said. Like every 3rd generation they come back. So
okay.
yeah, but that's why we hadn't messed with them. Why the the white man didn't know what they were, or didn't have to ever have to mess with them.
Cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, like they'll be around for a while and then they'll disappear for 3 more generations. Yeah. That's interesting. Hello, Mel.
Hello, Mel, and Riley can jump in there too. Hello, welcome, Riley. And yeah, Riley was the guy in Bad Boys with Sean Penn. I'm sorry, Clancy Brown was. Yeah.
Yeah. So who gets the acting? Who do you think gets the acting point?
I mean, Burrowers was pretty darn good, man. But like some of the performances in Tomahawk were just, I mean, like
they were better.
They were just so good, man.
Yeah,
like,
they were better.
In certain scenes, just like that one, in my opinion, showcased the acting.
I agree with you on that. Boom. So we'll give that to Bone Tomahawk. Let's see here. Acting. All right. Who had? Which one had the best characters? You think?
Damn it.
Oh, damn it. Yeah. You had you had the crappy
Bone Tomahawk. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you get the Irish guy and the cowboy and the cook, all cruising through, and then you got the crappy jerk face military leader guy killing all the Indians and stuff, and then that's one thing. But then Bone Tomahawk, I don't know. I felt like they were more endearing characters to me. You know what I mean? Like the husband with the broken leg, and then the guy, the know-it-all, Matthew Fox being the know-it-all, guy who's actually a badass. And my vote's Bone Tomahawk for this one.
Right. That's I was like, because I was saying, damn it, because Bone Tomahawk I think is easily going to get this one too. The characters were just like you put it well, very much more endearing. And Bruder, the know-it-all guy, he was basically the Union officer version of for Bone Tomahawk, and it was just done so much better. Like he wasn't. I mean, it was a different play on that character, but yeah, all of those characters, I didn't want to see any of them die. Like, you knew some of them were going to die. I didn't want to see any of them die.
Even the mayor's wife and the mayor, when they popped in that short little thing, they pop in and
right.
I was like, yeah, I like all these people.
Yeah,
cool. Well, it's another point for Bone Tomahawk. Cleaning house. Don't worry. There's always a comeback.
Bobby says Burrowers characters were good, but could have been better. Bone Tomahawks were believable, and I agree. Like, I think Burrowers, man, it needed something. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really good movie, regardless, but it just.
I did like the what is his name, Walnut and the Irishman's
right.
friendship and stuff, and I thought they could have gone more into like they kind of buddied up, and I thought there was some aspects of that I thought were cool, but it just didn't really go anywhere,
I agree. I noticed that too, because one of the things is like African Americans and the Irish were like close, back then. There was not an animosity between them because the Irish weren't considered white yet either, and it wasn't until like the Civil War or after the Civil War, I guess it would be around that time, but the Irish politicians started recognizing the Irish as a voting group because they were just good at having babies, and they had more people, and so they wanted that voting block and started to treat them and consider them as white, And that's when the separation happened. Whenever
Yeah.
they started being like, oh, you're a black guy, I don't want to be around you, and all that terrible stuff. But like there was a really camaraderie there, and they could have gone into it a lot more.
Yeah, they would have been interesting. Oh, let's see here. Okay, well, how about who had a better story, do you think? Both are actually pretty good stories. Like, one is terrible natives that are like so primitive and vicious and savage that it's unbelievable. These guys think they could do, and they go like, that's a pretty interesting story. Somebody desecrated their old Purvis, played by David Arquette. It's just a real douchebag. That's his name. That's his character's name.
Yeah.
And ends up desecrating their burial ground, and then kills a couple of people and takes their stuff, goes into town to go get a drink, buries his guns, pretends he's not a scumbag, and then and basically leads these terrible savage things there because they're trying to get him because he desecrated the sacred burial ground, and what ends up happening is he gets shot, and the doctor's trying to treat him, or nurse or whatever she is trying to treat him, and these natives, like these savages, end up like kidnapping them all and taking them off. Now we got to go rescue these people, and this is all because that one douchebag came into town, and Kurt Russell was giving him a hard time. I really enjoyed his interrogation. Like, hey, what's your name? You gotta think. You got to think that long and hard about your name. I'm not doing anything. He's like, oh, cool. And after all that, he goes, okay, well, all right. Well, one more question. Why are your guns buried out in the? Yeah, I thought that was funny, but
and he starts to take off, and he just shoots him in the leg.
Yeah, shoots
all right,
him.
we're done.
Yeah, great. Sheriff Franklin shot someone in the leg again. Damn it. But yeah, so you got that, and then you got Burrowers. That's they think that they're natives that are stealing, taking people, but it's not. It ends up being a supernatural, crazy creature that we've never heard of, and so it turns into like a horror movie, and it's wild.
And I think, Bone Tomahawk, for as simple as a story as it was executed way better. You've got some backward savages, and they kidnap people, and then you got to go save them. It was a very simple story, but executed so well. But I really like the story of Burrowers. I think that's one of the main things that got that I really enjoy this movie, because I think it could be done better. Like execution wise, it wasn't executed, but the story, like that's these creatures have been living in America forever, and every third generation, if I'm correct, third generation, they come out of the ground to feed, and they normally feed on the buffalo. Well, we've killed off all the buffalo, so they start feeding on whatever they can find, which is white settlers. The white settlers, of course, think it's the Native Americans, so they start going after them. And then the Native Americans are the ones that save them because they have knowledge of these creatures. I mean, I just think it's a really good story.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so, I'll give story to Burrowers, because I agree with you. Because the other one is really a basic story, a long time old Western story of people, frontier people getting taken, and then they got to go rescue the people. There's not much to that, but this is a clever idea that, like, you're absolutely right. Done well, could be really interesting. So I think it's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's give the point to Burrowers. Making a comeback. All right. And then how about this? What about musical score? Who had the best music?
I didn't really notice. I mean,
I didn't notice music on either one either.
Yeah.
So we'll just get a draw on that one.
Yipperoo.
Which one do you think is a better looking movie? Which movie was a better looking film?
Uh, I don't know, because Bone Tomahawk was very beautifully filmed, and the gore scenes were kind of amazing.
Bloop.
But, huh? Yeah.
I said bloop.
They were. I mean, it was pretty amazing what they did.
I'll say.
Oh, Bobby said she did notice the music, the end credits of the Burrowers movie.
I did. It
So she said
sounded
that was-
like everybody knows. It was some like crazy.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that now. That was good. But the Burrows, I really did like whenever the monsters were and the practical effects of the monsters. I think the design was neat and they looked good. It's just when they put that CG in, and again, you can't really fault them for that. For a B movie in 2008,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be great. So I don't know about this one.
I'm gonna have to say, honestly, the effects weren't that bad, considering if you consider
that's what I mean. Yeah,
how cheap this movie was, and
for $7 million, I mean, that's.
I'm still.
I mean, I would say. Go ahead. You're gonna go Bone.
I think so.
I mean, I kind of want to, because it was just so beautifully shot, and but yeah,
we're going Bone.
Yeah.
Once you go Bone, you never go home. It doesn't even really rhyme, but tough.
We've got a little bit of Mel's asking about if we have where to go post summer weather. Not really. We get honestly, we get cold fronts. So there was about 2 days where it was actually cool. I don't know about in Austin. Y'all are a little
we
further
have a
north
cold
than
front right now. I'm gonna tell you what the weather is. Weather. It's nice. It rained I'm gonna tell you it thundered. I'll tell you what. It thundered so hard this morning at about 7:00 in the morning. Maybe it was but I was knocked out. I was completely knocked out. Maybe it was 6. It was early for me, and it must have hit the house next door. It lightninged and it thundered so loud that I don't know if I've ever heard thunder that loud. It scared the crap out of me, and I woke up and went ah, and I promise you, I braced myself for the burn, because I thought we got nuked. And I thought and I just saw a documentary the other day where it was talking about what happens when you get hit by a nuclear bomb, and it was like first you hear it, and then you see the flash and your eyes burn, and then all of a sudden coming way behind the force, the ripple effect of the force expands out, and then you get hit and everything burns within so far, and then the black, there's a force and fire, and I woke up from a dead sleep and went, and I braced myself because I thought I was about to get roasted. It was so loud I couldn't believe it. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, it scared the crap out of me. I think I peed
we got
a little.
some rain.
It's 60 degrees. It's 60 degrees here in Austin right now.
That's nice.
Hell yeah.
We got some rain today, so it's probably coming our way. And it's funny. I had a buddy from Scotland and then he moved to Texas with his wife, and he was talking about the storms. He's like, y'all got some good storms, and I was like, yeah, whenever it depends on the season, but yeah, we get some good storms. He's like, no, I mean we have storms and stuff in Scotland. Or I think I'd asked him, you don't have storms in Scotland? He's like, we have storms, but he's like, y'all storms are. His words were properly biblical. And it's true. There's these giant thunderheads that just roll in, across Texas, and it's like, oh my god.
Oh, I got a comment there. Hugs for Clint. Happened once to me. Couldn't even couldn't even hear my own
Hear my
scream,
own scream.
and the lightning bolt shape was seared into my retinas. I didn't see any light or anything. I just was like, it was so loud that I was like, that was 4 times louder than any lightning I've ever heard, thunder I've ever heard. So I must be about to die. Like I was just okay. I'm ready. Oh, we're good? Okay, never mind. It was lightning. And then I heard my poor dog, Chloe, was just started whining outside of my door because she doesn't like that stuff at all. So I let her in. She jumped in bed with me. And I was like, okay, don't worry, Chloe. We'll die together in here.
Storm buddies.
Yeah. She does not like that stuff at all. Let's see here.
When you can feel it, that is scary. Like that's, I mean,
dude, I'm telling you that blowing, like detonating something, like, you know, when they demolish a high rise, it had to have been at least that loud. I mean, it had to be louder than that. It was so loud. I've never heard lightning that loud or thunder that loud. And I was deep in sleep. Let's see here. Let's get into villains. All right, this will be a fun one.
Okay.
Who had a better villain? Hey, Danny Zuko, the greatest villain of them all. Bone Tomahawk.
Why not him?
Uh-oh. He was pretty bad. That was wild when you can do that. Burrowers, we have this guy.
Son of a bitch.
Henry.
You raise that gun, and the 4 of you will be on ropes within an hour. Yeah. This is my command. Mine. And I will not have my authority undermined.
Sorry for undermining your authority.
Bugle taps. We're bedding down.
Oh, the other clip. I didn't put the other clip in there. He says, if anybody comes anywhere near us, kill him. That was the last thing he's supposed to say. And then if you have any doubt that guy is the villain that I say he is, if you have any doubt, okay, come on now. There we go. If you got any doubt, then there is this. This guy is the master villain.
Well, I knew I'd get him sooner or later. It's just a matter of time.
It's that guy!
You fucking cruel bastard!
I hate that guy. I was like, who is this guy? Why do I hate his guts? And then he stomped the mouse in my brain. I was like, it's him! No! Yeah, that's yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
That guy sucks.
He does, and yeah, he's the worst. Because and not only that, he like tortured that Native American guy. He shot his horse and tortured him for no reason at all.
He didn't even do anything.
Like the Burrowers are just animals that are like, you know, doing what they do. They eat stuff. That's what they do. They're not villains. Like, but that guy.
Yeah, and it was
and he did it so well. Hutchinson, that's the actor's name, right? He was just, I mean, yes, Doug Hutchinson.
Yeah.
He for the small part that he was in there, he just killed it, man.
He's a bastard. F that guy. And then hold on. See, and then at the end he's like,
kill it.
That's what it was.
Tries to sneak back in. Google taps. We're bedding down. Anyone tries to sneak back into this camp, anything moves, kill it.
doing that? I think I screamed louder than the dude. No! Oh, God. I hate that guy. So my vote is for that guy. F that guy.
Yeah. And then Bobby's right, too. I forgot at the end. Yeah, he chops off Cook's leg. Like,
yeah.
Had to take his leg. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah. Poor Oh, you mean Walnut. He didn't make it. What do you mean? If he had made it, he would have owed me his life. But unfortunately, he didn't make it. That's what he said. If he'd have made it, he would have owed me his life, but he didn't make it. He's dead. And so, like, you're like, did he do that on purpose? Or, like, did he kill him? Or did they legit try to amputate? Like the other movie, they had a hurt leg, and they were like, hey, we could do this. There's a 50-50 chance of whether you're going to make it or not. Did they pull that, or did he just chop his leg off and kill him?
But that's the thing. It was like the next day. Like, you got time to, gangrene ain't going to set in like that. Like, you got time to fix that. He just chopped his leg off.
Let's chop your leg off.
And remember his last line too. He thought it was the Native Americans, and his last line was like, we just got to make sure they can never do it again. So he's going to go kill a bunch more Native Americans.
Yeah.
Like, he's already ready to do it.
That will tap into the best ending later when we get to that point in the show. So are you with me on this, or do you think for best villain it's that douchebag?
I think everybody's kind of in agreement.
Yeah, as terrible as those savages were, they're just doing what they do, and they wouldn't have done anything.
They didn't know any better.
Yeah,
like that's their culture, and they have not been taught better.
Yeah, I mean, and if you have any doubts of like how nice or mean the savages are, I mean, just ask their wives. You know, I mean, like they're
yeah.
That'll
come back up later as
well.
Come
into WTF moments. Let's get the points too. That was fucked up. Okay, points. Yeah. Burrowers gets a point for villains, because anyone who steps on a mouse is a villain forever.
Well, no, that's not true, because
he could be
I've done that, but not someone who's on death row's pet mouse. Who,
So anyway, Curtis couldn't be with us anymore for the rest of the evening, so I'll be your host. Okay, what fights? The next, who had the best stunts and fight choreography? This is a fun one. Here's a clip from Bone Tomahawk. Eek. Oh, that was brutal.
Oh, man.
It's tough. Let's stick a bone in his mouth and then hit him with a rock. And then
I'm glad that guy hit him with a rock, because it got it over with.
Yeah. Then we got Burrowers. Oh man. Oh man. Oh my God. That was the most incredible fight scene I've seen all year.
You must have got the extended cut, man.
Man.
Oh, wow. That was like a Rocky movie.
That was incredible. Oh my God. Holy shit. I was crying laughing.
However, I thought, whenever I was cutting that scene, I thought Kurt Russell was really getting choked. I was like, that guy's really choking Kurt Russell.
Yeah, he starts turning red.
He's like doing that.
Jeez, yeah.
I mean, he was.
Man, I felt like that creature, that burrower, was really getting kicked in the face. You know, when I was watching that scene, a lot of times they had to really coordinate that.
That was, I mean, what they did with those graphics, that was amazing.
Oh man. Oh, let's see that again. Man, it's kicking the crap out of that thing. Oh boy.
Poor Uggo. Let's put it out of its misery.
So stupid. So who wins the best fight? Gang? In the chat?
I was yeah. Oh, Bobby says Bone Tomahawk. I was gonna go Bone Tomahawk. That was pretty good.
What are you talking about? That happened. That kick happened. That's how they call that fight choreography.
It did happen. But yeah, like I said, Clint got the extended cut, I guess, and
yeah.
Oh, come on, Mel, do your homework.
Come on, Mel. You must have been dozing. By the way, I don't think I got to tell you guys, if you haven't hit the button, do this.
Hit the button.
Yeah, that was for Mel. Yeah. So who's who wins the fight scene? Who did Bobby say? Bone Tomahawk?
Yeah, Bobby says yeah.
I don't see it in the. I don't see it anywhere in the chat.
Right above where she says she didn't like the creatures.
Oh, okay, film. There it is. All right, that's one vote right there. Good enough for me.
Yeah,
Bone?
I gotta go Bone too.
Yeah, they were some pretty brutal fight scenes in that movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we couldn't necessarily cut from Bone Tomahawk and show on YouTube. So you're getting the tamest clips that we could get for a lot of them.
Yeah, it's pretty graphic, and that clip. There's a part where there's a flask that's fallen into the campfire, and it's hot. And you remember that? And then one of those things back, cuts Kurt Russell open, and just stuffs it into his guts. And I'm like, jeez! And it's like cauterizes in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's fused to it.
Yeah.
So I was gonna pull that one, but then I was like, I don't
it's
know.
brutal, dude.
I don't know if YouTube will strike you or not. So I was like, I'm not gonna. There's a lot of stuff in there that's and that's the thing too. It's not like cheesy brutal. It's not like over the top gore brutal. I mean, it's gory, but it's not like Jason or something like that, where it's just like it's kind of even more scary because it's realistic, for back then.
Well, you want to do best comeback? But best
right.
Who had the best comeback? Bone Tomahawk. Yikes! That was the comeback, because they got him and he came back and whack, boom, yep.
Yeah.
And that was a
you can see the flask sticking out of him right there.
It's terrible. And then in Burrowers, here's a comeback scene. And she starts wiggling her toes. It's best comeback.
She's back. She's back.
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild. So, best comeback? I'm saying I'd say Bone Tomahawk. That was pretty good. But it is quite a significant we're about to get into the WTF moments of this thing here in a minute.
Oh yeah.
So Bone Tomahawk is doing well. Let's see here. Let's come back. Oh, let's get into WTF moments. Who had the most WTF moment? And that's also going back to the last one. The good guy did return. The guy with the broken leg came back. Yeah. So, but who had the most WTF moment? Bone Tomahawk.
Hello, Victor.
That's not it.
Hi.
That's from last week. But we'll watch this anyway.
How do you know? Because this morning he made this.
What the?
Did you
Oh
get
God.
that out of the litter box?
Curtis, was there a Bone Tomahawk WTF clip?
There was, but again, it was one that I couldn't. I actually pulled it, but I decided not to send it to you because it was a scene that we probably couldn't show. There's slight nudity, and it's again kind of gruesome. So the women of this tribe are, whenever they're leaving, are laying on these stone slabs, pregnant, with spikes in their eyes, and like their legs are just cut off. They're basically just there to, reproduce,
breed more babies. So they're
Breed more
basically
babies.
human incubators. Basically, they're just like creating, not incubators.
And it was
it was gross.
I
They're
mean,
baby factories, basically. They're
Yeah.
like, cool, just cut their legs off and blind them, and then
and the men are like, but see that was almost a plot hole for me, because it's like I don't see those cannibalistic savage men raising some babies, like
that
you
should
know what I
be
mean, like
best
the
plot
women
hole.
gotta kind
Yeah,
of gotta do a little more than just spit them out. Their moms are kind of a big deal.
that was another WTF moment where they were like, what would do? I don't remember what. I don't want to phrase it wrong. Cancel myself.
Whenever,
but it was basically asking about like, do they eat Native Americans also, and then do they do they taste the same or something? And
no, it was that at the beginning, the first guy to die from them was an African American guy.
Okay.
And they killed him, but they left his body. And whenever they're talking to the professor later on, they're like, "Well, they didn't eat him," and he was like, they think that the black ones are going to taste bad. So, so even
and I was like,
savages, they still had a good level of racism in them.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's I was like, yeah, that's
oh man,
yikes. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's as soon as they said that, I went, oh, I'd write that down for a WTF. Okay, let's see. Now on Burrowers, there was some WTF stuff going on here. Now they're going through and they're looking for clues. They're hunting around, and they find some hair sticking in the ground. They're starting to figure out maybe these things come out of the ground, but they don't know quite yet what's going on. And they find a girl that's buried, and they dig her up, and she's still twitching. She's still alive, and that was a part of that clip that I played a little while ago. But the guy sends his teenage son and says, "Hey, you take this back home. This girl's still alive. She's like in a catatonic state, but she's still alive. You take her back and and he's letting him off the hook. Like, hey, I trust you. I only trust you to get her back safe. Like telling your son that to like put this responsibility, and he's basically giving him an out so he doesn't go into the danger zone is basically what's going on. So anyway, and so then they stop. he stops and pulls her off the wagon, and they're gonna camp, I guess, for the night, and she's asleep. And I was like watching this, and then I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on here? Because he's looking around.
Well, good night.
I'm like, hey, what are you doing, dude? Looking around twice? Hey now. Ew. I'm like, no, this is not okay.
Jesus.
And she's still alive, and we don't know how.
I'm trying to. So sorry. What did they do to you?
And I'm like, this is that makes me feel weird. I don't like this. She looks like a zombie. So first off, she looks like a zombie, so I'm gross. And then I'm like, how awake is she? Is she in there? And she's like, hey, this guy
she's fully awake, and she's moving her toes to tell him, think with your other head, dude. Like, this is not the time.
This is the time to be doing that. It's terrible.
Really? That's all her in Morse code. Her toes are going. Really, right? Really.
And I spliced in that picture, the image of her toes there. You can hear her toes doing it.
Oh,
that was from earlier in where they're like, "What's that sound?" And they take her shoe off, and then you're like, "Wait a minute, she's still alive." That's where he's like, "Son, take her." So I thought it was more dramatic for hey, I think I'll steal a kiss from this zombie looking corpse that I'm taking home. Gross, dude. Oh. Come on.
But you gotta remember, it was back in the old days. That's probably the first girl he's seen in like 4 years. So.
Yeah, come on, though. Man, that's gross.
No, I know. Yeah.
So what's the bigger WTF moment?
I don't know. That was a pretty WTF moment for the Burrowers. That was a good pull, because, like, again, the Savages. I wasn't expecting that from the Savages, but they are Savages. It's like, oh, well, they, like, you don't expect them to have this, nice family life, but this kid, he's like a good kid the whole show, and then like he does that, and it's just like,
well, where it got creepy is in the beginning. He looks around a couple of times. I wonder if anybody's watching.
Well, good night.
Don't mind if I do. Gross, dude. Look around again. The guilt's really there. I don't want anybody to see me kiss the zombie. Not okay.
And so here's the thing. He says, at the same time, he says, like, oh, you're awake. I'm sorry. So if he had thought she was asleep, what would he have continued to do? You know what I mean? Like, he stopped because he realized she was awake.
He's like, no, that's what I'm saying, dude. I was like, this is gross.
Yeah, okay, you won me over, man. Like,
yeah, I was like, yep, nope.
Yeah,
I don't know what words will get you canceled on YouTube, so I'm not gonna challenge the algorithms. But there's a
clip's gonna get you canceled, so it doesn't matter. Like,
no, get that out of there. So that was a big WT. That was just kind of shoehorned into this thing to where I'm like, hey, what? That's what I was thinking. All they had to do is have this guy take the girl home, and then in the middle of it, something happened to them or not. But like in the middle of it, somebody's like, hey, it's a pretty girl. And, he is in his teens. He's bound to, frontier or not, he's bound to have raging hormones. Let's make the guy kiss the zombie girl. And then, and I was like, who thought of that? It's gross. What year is this?
Choice.
Yeah. What?
Hello, Jonas Ramos.
Hey, what's happening, dude? Bobby says they taste different. Girlfriend's son, no relation to him.
That's right. Yeah, that was he was dating that. He was trying to marry that lady, so it wasn't his son, but he was trying to get him.
Oh yeah, it was his girlfriend's son.
Be his stepdad. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Bobby.
Let's see here. So we got. All right. So who got the WTF point on that one?
Burrowers. I think.
I think so. Because what the hell, dude?
And that's the thing. If they had kind of built that character up as a skeezy kind of kid, like you'd be like, oh, okay, of course this scumbag's going to do that. But like the whole show, he's just like this stand-up, like Dudley Do-Right kid.
Good kid till no one's looking.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
don't keep the roofies away from that kid. Let's.
And Bobby says he became food for the creatures. Was it worth it, dude?
Yeah,
was it worth it.
That's what happens.
Wait a minute. You didn't put that in for best kiss, did you?
We're still going, man. We got more stuff here. All right, let's move on to a best quote. Who had the best line or the most quotable line? All right, so Bone Tomahawk.
I think I could ever kill a woman for a child. Not even a female.
Is it possible for you to close that aperture?
Is it possible for you to close that aperture? That cracked me up.
Yeah, I love that because that's basically the old West way of saying, "Can you shut the fuck up, dude?"
Yeah.
Can you just shut the fuck up?
That was great. And also, he says something about slapping somebody red. That was pretty great in this movie too. And then Burrow, the Burrowers, excuse me, quote.
They eat soft parts.
Soft parts? What's that mean? I like my soft parts.
I like my soft parts. Yeah, they eat soft parts. Soft parts? What's that mean? I like my soft parts. I was like, hey, that's a good quote right there.
That is a good one.
Who doesn't like their soft parts?
Those are usually the best parts.
Just saying.
And that's why they eat them.
That's right.
You gotta, I gotta go with that. Good call. That was Burrowers won that one. I like the aperture thing, but it's basically just because it was like he just basically told him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the F
Old
up.
West.
Yeah. Old style.
Yeah. I'm gonna start whipping that one out every now and again. Like
you whip your soft parts out. Speaking of soft parts, I'm gonna start whipping my soft parts. I hope Mom's not watching. Let's see here. Oh, now it's making their comeback.
Oh, all right, good. This is a lot. It's getting more. Yeah,
making the comeback.
Even it out.
Yeah. Car chase. There was no car chase in this movie, so we're gonna skip to the next thing. Who had the most inspirational part? All right, Bone Tomahawk said this.
Sheriff Hunt, what do you intend to do about my horses?
They're not my priority right now.
Those are my finest.
Quiet! Ask about horses again, I'll slap you red.
Yeah.
Tell him, Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that just gave me Tombstone flashbacks. That was good stuff.
That's right. Humans are missing, and this guy's wife is sitting there missing, and he's like, "What about my horses?" And the girl's like, "Nope, I ain't having that, bitch. Shut it up."
There's nothing soft on that. Inspirational. Bobby, how can you say that when you don't know the inspirational line yet from Burrowers? You're already calling it. You haven't even heard the goodness that's coming.
Any Christian woman would prefer dying to capture. If Mr. Williams had time to reload, because his wife gave it to him, if it came to that, I hope you'd be strong enough to take care of your mother.
Jeez, that's dark. How inspirational can you get? If it comes down to it, I hope you'll kill your mother.
And the boy's like thinking, "I will, and then I will kiss her and touch her."
Oh no! Yeah, because that kid's twisted, man.
Yeah.
Do you have any popsicles? Got a whole box of popsicles in the basement.
Got a basement. Got some candy right here in my pocket. Reach in and grab some.
Get over here, you muscly arm paper boy.
You piglet bastard.
Piglet son bitch. Get over here, you piglet son bitch. I think I think I'm gonna have to go with Bobby. Bobby knows what's up. Inspirational, Bone Tomahawk.
Boom, 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 boom.
Because that inspires me to tell some people to I'll slap them red.
After Bone Tomahawk, I was like, I gotta go be a sheriff. Is there a small Texas town I can go be a sheriff in? Like, I can yell at people and smack them around. Like, hey sheriff, somebody's been stealing my newspaper. You talk about that newspaper again, I'm gonna slap you red.
Somebody's been stealing my paper. Must be my paper boy. I get that reference, says Mel.
Oh.
All right, let's see what else we got. Car chase inspirational. Oh yeah. We got best kiss. All right, how about this? Aw. That's best kiss. And then on Burrowers, we got this one. Oh no! She blew up. That's not cool. I guess I will have to do the backup kiss is this one.
Well, good night.
Don't mind if I do.
Tastes like dirt and animal poop.
Gross. I so wanted this one to be the best kiss.
What?
Oh, man. Landmines. Landmines.
Yeah, it's a well-known fact that that's one of the major causes of deaths back in the Old West was landmines.
Yeah. So which one was the best kiss?
Gotta go. There were many good, very good kisses in Bone Tomahawk, but that one was my favorite. And it ended up meaning the most.
Which one?
The one in Bone Tomahawk. Which one? The pervy one?
This one? This one was
Please come back.
Yeah.
This was a nice best kiss. I also liked how he is like, tell my wife I said goodbye. I'll say hello to yours.
Yeah.
That was a good line.
That's right, buddy.
And then you got this one.
Well, good night.
Don't mind if I do. Better look around to make sure no one's looking.
Put some tape on them toes.
Oh, gross. Let's see here. So, what do you guys think? Bobby says Bone Tomahawk, also hero and wife, asking him. Oh, that's true too. He wanted to. That should have been a good one. Like he wanted to kiss his wife, and she's like, "No, you've been blowing on this nasty."
Thing you ripped out of somebody's neck.
I call it a throat whistle. Nasty throat whistle he ripped out of a savage's throat, and been blowing on that thing. Like, we're not kissing that.
I thought that one was really cute too. It's just the only I'll talk about it more when we get to Love Story. But I pulled a little bit of that one, Bobby, but I had to put this one in for best kiss in my opinion. But yeah, either way, Bone Tomahawk has the best kisses. It is a gory movie. You haven't seen? Yeah. Yes,
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a gory movie. Yeah, but it's an awesome movie.
Yeah, it is really good. Burrowers was not bad either. So I guess we're gonna get the point. We'll go to Bone Tomahawk for this. Yes. Tomahawk, yeah. All right. And then what's next? Best Kiss. Cheer up movie. Which movie is going to cheer you up more? My vote is for Bone Tomahawk.
I don't know though.
Because for me, because they get away in the end. Like the other one, it's not really resolved. Like they killed those things, but then there's more of them, and then you know that crappy mouse killer is going to be out there killing Indians. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. I'm like, yeah. And it's kind of, there is a sweet justice or a sweet feeling of justice knowing that those things are probably going to kill that dude. That, you know,
yeah.
But
like I do, Bone Tomahawk's a very good movie, but it's a pretty heavy movie, man. Like it's so the end does cheer. The end is very cheerful. I will agree with that. But overall, it's a pretty heavy movie, and I don't know. The Burrowers is, you know, a little bit lighter, so I don't. And I do like kind of Bobby mentioned earlier how the sunshine is what kills the Burrowers,
right?
And it's kind of a good, you know, cleansing thing. Like, again, man, if you're gonna remake a movie, quit remaking good movies like Halloween and stuff like that. There's a perfectly good movie that needs to be remade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll agree. I'll agree with Bone Tomahawk. The ending is very cheerful.
Cheerful, yeah. The lovely wife gets rescued, who's lovely, and the guy who shouldn't have been able to make it. And I knew he was going to be the one who came in and saved the day. I'm like, I stopped the movie and went and like made coffee or made a sandwich or something, and I was thinking, I'm like, dude, he's going to be too slow. He's going to get left out in the desert. So as far as predictable goes, I called it, and I was like, they're going to end up going in there to get him. They're probably going to get captured or hurt or something, and then he's going to show up later and save them. And sure enough, that's what happened.
Well, see, I didn't get that. I thought that he was going to fall behind and get taken captive too. You know, so
no, I was, I was just like, that's the. And it'll be the romantic thing that no matter how injured and slow he is and all that, his love will persevere, and he's gonna, if he has to crawl on his hands and knees, he'll go and save her, type of a situation. And sure enough, that's what it was. And then at the end, after they get out of there, you know, he's stumbling, and then his lovely, you know, wife is able to help him, and then, here, give me a kiss. No. Please take the gut, nasty possum gut smelling thing out of your mouth before I kiss you, because it's disgusting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
And she was nice. She was nice enough to have been in captivity for that long and still wink and say that flea circuses were real, you know, type of a thing. So I was like, okay, I like her. She's nice. So.
Yeah, it showed how sweet she was, and like.
And she had all of her limbs and didn't have her eyes put out, so it's like that was good for her.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So all right, so for the point for that one, there we go.
Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk's killing it. I wish I had Bone Thugs and Harmony queued up. Bone. Okay. Got that. And then. Yeah.
It's always a good thing when you can keep your eyes.
Mel, did you watch Bone Tomahawk? Because I don't know if you were in here yet when we were talking about it, but their wives, their baby makers were their eyes were, it was gross. It was like, wow.
They had these spikes in their eyes and like had their legs cut off. They were just.
I was like, who thought of that? Like, whoever thought of that is probably the same guy that wrote the kiss the catatonic girl scene. There's some sicko that wrote both scripts.
And honestly, like they had those guys that like I was thinking like they should have put them down. Like like who wants that life? I mean, oh.
Well, I think they kind of were thinking about it, and they're like, "Dude, we got to get the F out of here." You know what I mean?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, we don't need to bring any more.
Because they stop and look, and it was like, just go. Wild, wild, wild. Okay, which one is a better date movie? Which movie is a better date movie? Bone Tomahawk.
No. I'm the most intelligent man here, and I intend to keep us alive.
Oh, you're the most intelligent man here. Is that a fact?
It is. Sheriff Hunt has a wife. So does Mr. O'Dwyer. And you're a widower.
Yeah. What does that got to do with anything?
Smart men don't get married.
Well.
Yep. Oh boy. Okay, well that was good. And then that would go over like a turd in a punch bowl on a date. That's not going over well at all. And then let's see here.
I've come to Washburn Creek to talk to you. Oh, good Jesus. To your home. I've come to your home to talk to you about Marianne. I'd like very much to ask. It's about Marianne.
And that was kind of the intro of the movie. It's just showing, hey, he's courting this girl. It didn't really say much, and then they find her, and so then they don't know if she got kidnapped or killed, and they spend the movie trying to figure that out. I had a backup scene for best date.
Good night.
Man, this is the best date in here. He's just like, nope, not on my date. No. None of that mess, gross dude.
See, I don't know how to feel about this. So, like, if I were on a date with my wife, I don't. Bobby says neither, which is kind of the correct answer. If I were on a date with my wife, I don't think she would like Bone Tomahawk. But now that she knows me and has been exposed to movies like that, I think she would love Bone Tomahawk. Burrowers, I think she would enjoy. I don't know.
Honestly, Bone Tomahawk is I always want to say Tomahawk like it's TAM, but it's TOMA. But Bone Tomahawk is actually a romantic movie.
It's very much a love story. And
Yeah, and the guy is not giving up for it. He reads the poem. It's not a poem, and then he reads that, takes it with him, even so he could, if he gets to her, he can read it out loud. And I imagined it was if he found her body somewhere, he'd probably read that to her. You know what I mean? And he, even though his leg is on the verge of going gangrenous, he keeps going. He gets his leg reset, keeps going, saves everybody, and it's a love story. But it doesn't get any more romantic than than Burrowers. Guy dug up the love of his life out of the dirt and was taking her home. Gross.
Yep. He was like, I need me some squishy parts.
Oh no.
Or soft parts.
Why'd you have to go there? Just make her as happy as she makes me every day. Let's see. So I would have to pick as much fun as I'm having putting that gross pervy scene in, where I'm like, oh, best date night. And I'm like, I get to put that scene again. It really is. Bone Tomahawk is a romantic movie.
Love story. Yeah.
It's a love story. So I'm gonna pick that one.
I agree completely. Yep.
'Cause worst case, I could put my I'm like, look away from the screen. You don't want to see this guy get severed in half.
Thank you, Mel. You should write a book. She's got me figured out. She knows exactly what I meant.
That's where you need the kindergarten cop. Boys have penises, girls have vaginas. A clip from Kindergarten Cop. You get canceled for playing that one now. Let's see. Where?
Really?
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's like he's just stating facts.
Everyone has. Everyone has V's and P's. Let's see here. Best quote.
We already did best quote.
We already did that. Keep scrolling. And best kiss, best date. Okay. Which of these? Oh, that's a red question.
No, that's perfect. That's
should have been done better, but something went wrong somewhere.
That's kind of the thing with Burrowers. Like it but not by no means is it a bad movie, but something happened, and I think that's why it was dumped to DVD and like it's for if you go in like expecting like this is going to be a B movie DVD or straight to DVD B movie horror western, like it's a perfectly good film. It's great for what it is. But like again, with the story, with some of the acting in there,
yeah, something went wrong.
Well,
just
something went wrong on set, and they just don't know what it could have been. Uh-oh, not that again.
Mel, did you see Mel's comment before you put that up, or were y'all just thinking alike?
Oh no, we're just in sync. We're on the same page. Yeah, like this movie's going great. Wait, what's he doing over there? Yeah, I agree with you. And there was aspects of this movie that were great. There was parts of this movie that were really great, and then there were some parts where you're just kind of like, it was weird. Could have been better.
And once the story is fleshed out, it's like I was invested, I was involved. But the first part, like it shows them they're meeting the girl, they get kidnapped, and like for the first 20 minutes something maybe, and I think it's only about an hour and a half movie. I was like, what? No, so what's going on here? They're going to I looked up stuff on the movie, so I knew that what was going to happen. But the first 15 or 20 minutes, I was like, now who's going on? Who is he? Why is like?
Do you want to deduct a point from Burrowers for that? That was a red question, so we can deduct a point.
I mean, technically we need to because there was but I mean,
you lose a point, losers.
Yeah, it's science. We can't,
This is a scientific grading system that we use. It's not our fault. It's just how it is.
Blame it on science. Blame it on the science that's falling.
Let's see here. Which movie makes a better Christmas movie? Bone Tomahawk.
You hear that? That was a gust. That's a real musical gust. And? It's ominous. This is not the time for womanly imaginings. Maybe we shouldn't be going someplace that looks like a burial ground. To a bunch of godless savages. Ain't no concern of a civilized man.
He looks like Santa. What the hell is happening? What just happened? Okay, and then we get wow, and then we have
the extended cut.
That's Christmas right there. Wow. Then we got Burrowers, and I hope if I'm ever a hostage, that somebody will untie my arm and bring me a plate of food for Christmas. You'll be awake in your grave. You'll be alive when they feed. Merry Christmas.
I chose that scene because honestly, the opening of Bone Tomahawk was so good with Sid Haig and David Arquette, and they're only in it for the first 10 minutes of the movie, but they just nail it as these two skeezy people, and it reminds you of how good of an actor David Arquette can be. Not always is, but can be. and how just again how good of an actor Sid Haig is. Now I don't know how much range he has because I've only seen him play the scumbag, but like he plays it so well. Like he's like it's almost like I imagine like he wasn't acting, and he probably wasn't. He was just playing. Not that he's a scumbag in real life.
I'm just a scumbag.
No, but like he was like I wondered how much of it was just ad-libbed or if it was just I don't know. He did so well in that, and it was just like a little present. It was just like a little present to get those guys in that role, and I had to show that scene. And
what else has he had been in? I don't even know him from anything.
Sid Haig?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Captain
Devil's-
Spaulding. Yeah, that's Captain Spaulding from Devil's Rejects. He's been in a ton of horror movies.
Yeah, House of a Thousand
so
Corpses,
maybe that's why,
Three
yeah.
from Hell, Lord of Salem, The Big Bird Cage, Spider Baby. Well, that's an old one.
Yeah.
Huh.
Night of the Living Dead 3D.
You know what's interesting about that is that his name was Buddy. So when Kurt Russell was asking what's your name, he's like, yeah, it took you a minute to think of that. It's probably somebody else's name, and it was the other guy's name.
He was like, yeah, it's probably somebody who owes him money. Like, and yeah, I just I don't know. I might watch Burrowers on Christmas, but I wanted to put that one because it was in that movie. It's just like a little gift.
I wouldn't watch either of these movies on Christmas. I thought it was not. I was like the nice gesture of Walnut giving food on Christmas. If you're a hostage, I'm gonna bring you. I hope somebody brings me food for Christmas. But the reality, I'm not watching either of these movies, so I'm not gonna pick either one. So I'm gonna let you guys decide. Bobby says Bone Tomahawk, happier ending. Yep. And Kurt Russell. Kirk or Kurt? Kurt Russell.
Kurt.
I'm wondering, is there a different Kirk that we're talking about?
No.
Oh. Captain Kirk? I got excited. Let's Clive Barker movies. No, he doesn't post early. Yeah. I'm gonna say just again because Kurt Russell's in this. Kurt, that dude, he could.
And Kurt Russell did play Santa Claus in Christmas Chronicles.
There
If
you
haven't seen
go.
it on Netflix.
Which
check it out. He plays Santa Claus
with Kevin Bacon. Just kidding. The Kevin Bacon game.
No, but Goldie Hawn does play Mrs. Claus. Check that out. Boom.
Curtis Russell next time, dude. Dummin. Autocorrect. I see. Oh, let's see here. Yes, Curtis Russell's coming soon, gang. Coming soon. Bobby, that does it to me all the time. Autocorrect is like the bane of existence, especially on YouTube comments. It's the worst, and I'll be like, I was spelling something. I was spelling Mark, and it was M-A-R-C, and I'm like, how many people spell Mark with it? I mean, there are Marks with a C, but I was like, I feel like the default is
a K.
is a K, you know? And I'm like, really? The only Mark that I really know, you know, from Riddling Kids, and I'm texting about that, and then it turns it into a C, and then of course my buddy Dave, drummer Dave, is like, ha, I'm going to tell Mark you misspelled his name, and I'm like, no, that was autocorrect. Yeah, that's like, yeah, Susan. Oh, it's going to spell it S-U-Z. I don't know.
Y-N.
Yeah.
Wow. I showed this to Clint one time through text. So I love autofill for your iPhone. How it learns the words that you use all the time. So
yeah.
I was texting Clint something, and I was like blah blah blah. But and so whenever I put BUT for move to a different idea, but in autofill, what pops up in the middle is buttholes, Because apparently I type buttholes all the time, and I was like, nope, we don't need that in autofill.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, and I'll do something like that. I'll be like, yeah, maybe we'll start a little bit sooner, and it'll say sphincter. I'm like, why does it do that? Why did that happen? Sooner doesn't even sound like sphincter. Imagine how many times that happens with my name.
Yeah,
Yep.
I bet.
Well, my name is Clint, so start dropping letters on my name, it turns into an interesting afternoon. Let's see here.
I'll send you the picture if I still have it, Mel. I took a screenshot of it, and I was like, look at this.
Let's see here. So, Christmas movie. Did I give the point? I don't. No. Man, Burrowers would like some points for Christmas. That's what they want.
Yeah, I'll see if I still got it. I probably do because I was looking through my photos the other day looking for a photo, and I was like, I don't think I've ever deleted any photo ever in the history of my life, like on my phone. It's like, I was like, what is, like, and half of them are like, pocket screenshots or something like that. And I'm okay,
Yeah.
like,
All right, let's get on with the. That's weird.
what you got going on here, bud?
Pulling up Christmas. And which one makes you look how many points Bone Tomahawk has?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, what's
karate lessons. Which one made you want to take karate lessons more?
Well, do you have a clip for this one?
No, there's no clips.
I think you do. You showed it earlier for best fight.
Oh yeah, well, for karate lessons, I think definitely would be this. Because if you got one of these coming at you. Yep. That's pretty stupid.
He's just kicking the shit out of that thing.
I couldn't stop, dude. I kept adding them and I couldn't stop. I kind of wish I hadn't done the last two because then somebody could be like, "Was that real?" But I was like, "Oh, I've already gone this far. I might as well go all in."
It's just yeah. That's some karate right there.
So I guess they get the point on that one, just based on your reaction. Also, Bone Tomahawk can afford to lose a point.
Oh. Riley says, I'd watch that movie. Yeah. Oh man, those poor Burrowers.
So good. Let's see here. How about hungrier? Here's one. Which made you hungrier? Which movie made you hungrier? Bone Tomahawk?
That tea smells gruesome. It's soup. Oh boy, that smells good. Now that I know it's not supposed to be tea.
You think you could drink this without burning your mouth?
Oh, I like challenges.
Let it cool.
Oh, this tastes like corn.
It's corn chowder.
Oh. Then things are lining up.
And later he eats around the campfire. He's like blowing it first. He has to tell that poor old guy to so he doesn't burn his mouth. And then Burrowers, hungry? Yep, that didn't make me hungry.
Hey, there you go. There's soft parts.
Yep, those were some soft parts. All right.
But again, that was just for Bone Tomahawk. That was just a great exchange between Richard Jenkins and Kurt Russell. But honestly, afterwards, I was like, corn chowder. I want to try some corn chowder.
Yeah,
I might go make some corn chowder.
Also, he gets that cloth, like the makeshift lunchbox that they do, the hobo lunchbox kind of a thing.
Yeah,
and
when he's cutting up-
he's cutting up cheese chunks, and I'm like, it's interesting that they're just sticking chunks of food in there, and I'm like, and I was like, this is making me hungry.
Well, I saw that it was bread and cheese and sausage, and I was like, man, look at that. That looks good. But then I was like, that cheese is totally going to get sweaty, and I don't like sweaty cheese.
Sweaty, sweaty butt cheese.
You know, like when you leave cheese out on the table, like it's sweaty. Like it's like, oh man, it's sweaty.
You know what sweaty cheese? Sausage, cheese, and bread. That's like a European breakfast. Anytime I go to Europe,
I was like,
that's what they bust out charcuterie.
If I could afford it, I'd just sit around and eat that all day. I'd be done. Like,
Hell yeah.
Would never need to cook again. Like,
hell yeah, I like.
Yeah, man. We
like
turn the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I like aged meats. Go ahead.
We turned down the volume on the clips a little, so that we don't, so that YouTube doesn't freak out on us.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to cut them. Suck a butt. I don't know where that clip is. I wish I did, and I'll find it next time. We'll have that in the repertoire.
I'll pull it. I got the DVD.
Yeah, I got it. I just gotta pull it up. I moved some stuff, so suck a butt. All right, so we need to get points here. So Bone Tomahawk gets yet another.
No. Oh yeah, that was hungry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a hunger point.
I'm still thinking about karate lessons.
Yep, and they got a piece of sweaty cheese there.
And his wife's making fry bread and that, and I was like, damn, I want some fry bread now. God.
What the hell's fry bread?
It's literally it's like she's chopping up onions and stuff like that, but you just make some dough and you just throw it into you just fry it and throw it into
an
pan of oil, and like it's just yeah. It's probably incredibly unhealthy, but it's awesome.
Cool. Like tortillas? Like bread at Schlotsky's?
Probably.
Like pizza,
like
pizza dough, pan pizza. That's what they do. They put a bunch of dough and they put about that much oil, and it's like super unhealthy. But
basically fries.
But it's delicious.
Yeah, fry bread is it's real easy to make, but yeah, it's.
Now I'm getting hungry. Let's see here. How about
go have a heart attack later, so I can eat all this junk.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Basically, I don't like donuts.
Yeah. Which movie holds up better?
So Bone Tomahawk was 2015. The Burrowers was 2018.
No,
so we've already talked about the
2008. 2008.
Yes, yeah. Besides the CGI, I think the Burrowers holds up very well. I will say this. So I'll always watch other people review and talk about Bone Tomahawk. If it can survive certain things about the way people feel now, so I think it'll hold up very well as well. But I did see a few YouTube people talking about how they were saying that it was like a very racist film and stuff like that. I didn't get that feel, but
What
again, I'm just
you're talking about? Bone Tomahawk?
about Bone Tomahawk. Yeah, they felt that it was very, very racist because they portrayed um, the Native American tribe as savages, which or the savages were a Native American tribe. Therefore, it perpetuated the idea that Native Americans were just savages. I didn't get that because the professor that tells them about the tribe himself is a Native American.
Right.
And he's like, they're not like us at all. And he says troglodytes, and nobody else in the whole town knows what troglodyte means. But the Native American professor does, but no one else does. And so they think that's the name of the tribe is the troglodytes. So it shows that there are, obviously, very smart individuals. And again, it's a period piece. So of course, like people were like that back then. People were racist back then.
And
People
you can watch movies in that take place in Europe where there's savage, what are they? The Germanic tribes and different things. Some of them were like face paint and like were more savage because they were just more primitive, at the time. You know, I mean, it's not a racist thing. It's just like if you have people
can't
that
have an ancient tribe of white people, it doesn't work like that in America.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, if you have people who are putting napkins in and eating with forks, and then you have people that are eating humans and running around and primitively slaughtering people with handmade weapon like stuff.
Yeah,
they're savages.
With literal bone tomahawks.
Yeah, wherever they're from. So I agree with you. I don't think that's racist, but again, there's if you go back, there's Vikings and other things that are brutal and savage, and even cannibals, in other times. But anyway, go ahead.
But again, yeah, I don't agree with it. But I have noticed there were a few on there, and hopefully, I think the movie's kind of under the radar enough to where it's not going to catch a lot of that. But like I just I'd hate for that to end up being what this movie's known for, because I didn't get that at all. Like to me, it made me feel like the savages or the cannibals that made me feel like Hills Have Eyes. Those are a bunch of mutant white people here in the U.S. But that's the thing. The idea was that they were an ancient tribe, and you can't do that other than with native people that had already lived here. It can't be an ancient tribe if they just got here. So I didn't get that, but I think that both of them will hold up very well. Bone Tomahawk definitely more though, because it wasn't as ambitious with effects.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Mel, it was pretty brutal. He gave up on it when when they started splitting that. That was brutal. And I mean, the guy was walking around eating a human leg. You know what I mean? It's like so.
Now it doesn't get much worse than that. You can tell your dad it doesn't get. That's about as bad as it gets, I think. But it's there's still other stuff that's kind of close to it. Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah, I was like, I'm looking down. I'm not watching this. I don't like shit like that. But yeah, it's crazy. I also wonder if the people that were complaining about that were like, white housewives that are, you know what I mean, that are fighting for another group besides themselves because for white guilt purposes, you know what I mean? Or if it's like, or if it's somebody of Native American descent who is like, that's messed up, you're making my family look bad. Or is it like, oh, that's blah blah blah? Because sometimes people do that, and I'm like, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but this is not the case to be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, this is a movie about something,
Right, and the few that I watched, or the couple that I saw that were like that, one of them was just this nerdy white guy. Another one was, I don't know, I don't want to speculate, but it's this brownish guy, and like he but he was respectful in laying out his opinions and his ideas and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I just didn't see it. But again, like I said, I didn't see it like that. But that's not my heritage. I'm just some
Yeah.
white guy. Like, so he may have seen, like you're saying, if that's his culture and stuff like that, he may have seen more of that I missed, and I feel bad that he could enjoy the movie the way that I did, but I can see why. I don't,
And you also have to think about the beginnings of Western movies, where they're like the good guys are the white guys and the bad guys are the Native Americans.
Yeah.
So it's like there's 100 years of movies that used to do that. I just don't think this specific movie
is the one to pick.
is the one to pick. You know what I mean? And it's like
to
it's
build your flag or plant your flag on like this. There's a whole 100 years. Yeah, that's a good
there's
point.
cowboys and Indians. It's supposed to be good guys and bad guys. Me, I'd rather be the Indians because I think they're cooler. You
Yeah,
but you're
they killed the damn predator.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. But so yeah, I think Bone will stand the test of time.
Yeah. What
as long
about
as it's not canceled.
Burrowers? Did that one?
I think again, like the only thing that's really going to hurt that is the dated CG because it's already dated, so it's going to look even more so. It shouldn't because it was good for its time, but I mean it's already pretty dated, and it's just remake it, people. Like who has money and likes westerns? I don't know. Just Elon Musk pay for that, remake that movie. Come on, let's go. Somebody, Amazon guy, Bezos. Yeah, just throw some money at it. Remake that movie.
I always liked the cowboys and the Indians working together that were friends. I'm part Cherokee. The Cherokees, were a lot of like spoke English and everybody got along and they traded together and stuff like that. And then you had other tribes that were looked at as more hostile, and they were just badass warriors as wild, as why. But I always like everybody working together.
And it's one of those things. Like I grew up, I thought the Cowboys were good guys because that's how it was portrayed, of course.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. It's the most intriguing and most in-depth, like history that we have between Native Americans and white people, because it was basically just these, this cooperation and then not, and then cooperation and then not, and like making different treaties and stuff like that. And I mean, all overall, the white people screwed them over and killed them. But like it didn't start like that. And it was just, I don't know, like the Native Americans traded with Vikings, they traded with the Pilgrims. There was a communal aspect, and it was only when it was beneficial that we started just like, I don't know. It's a really interesting thing.
Yeah, it is super interesting. Humans in general are interesting. If you go back and go through all the histories and like, there's so many like Mongolians conquering and just, raping and destroying civilizations and completely just taking over, and all these different empires. We've had so many different empires rise up and just like go in and wipe out a city and just take everything and kill everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just like completely wiping out civilizations. It's like, if you really look back, and I'm not trying to discount any horrors that we still remember, but there's like horrors all through human civilization that it's like, it's kind of the nature of human beings are just garbage people. They're like that's human beings are. If they can, they will take it from you and kill you, and impregnate your wife, and then leave and move on to another territory. Go ahead.
No, I was talking to my kids today. They got me off of math. We were doing some math, and one of them was like, "Do you believe in aliens?" And I was like, well, "What do you mean?" And so we got into this whole conversation. We were talking about, and then we got into nukes, and we were talking about this stuff. And like the thing I kept saying over and over again is like, we were talking about evolution, like evolutionarily, it might not be good to be intelligent. You know, a shark hasn't evolved in millions of years because it's the perfect predator. Alligators are the same. Cockroaches haven't evolved that much, and they're not. You can't really kill them like they could. You know, they can live through a nuclear winter and stuff like that. And so, just living and surviving evolutionarily, being smart might not be that possible. And we kept coming back to the point that like, but humans are killing off all these animals and stuff like that. And I was like, like over and over again, I was like, the best thing humans are good at is killing, and that's what got us into nukes. I was like, like literally, we've made an art form basically out of killing, not like predator animals or anything, like other human beings. Like our best minds, like Da Vinci and Einstein, all these, like they've worked on death machines mostly. Like it's like that's been their stock in trade because they've had to. Like it's a very sad fact that we're just a bunch of bald apes bumping around into each other trying to figure it out. It's
this latest generation, I think's had it pretty easy because since the atom bomb was invented and World War II, everybody's been kind of like at a draw. Like everybody's like, okay, we're not going to do that, and we're all looking at each other like, okay, it was like now the stakes just went up, so we all have to be cool. But like before that, we were getting into wars like all the time. For forever. So we like, I feel like our generation and stuff like, and moving forward is kind of spoiled in the way that they don't. That's TV stuff. That's not reality. You know what I mean? And we have had like wars in Middle East. We've had stuff, but like we haven't had any world wars in a long time. Where you know what I mean? It's been skirmishes and stuff.
Yeah, and they haven't been able to show in America. They haven't been able to show like battlefield footage since Vietnam. Like that's the thing. That's what turned the tide in Vietnam was the war reporting and like seeing. So they said you can't show that anymore. Like we can get reports from world, but they can't show battlefield footage because Nixon was like, they're seeing Americans die on the news every day. We can't have that. That's why they want us to pull out. And that was one of the good things. That's why Americans wanted to get them out. Like, get our boys out of there. What are they doing? Like, but since then, like in Iraq and all that stuff, they haven't been allowed to do that. So it's just,
and it's
just a different.
They don't show like the footage of what's going on, with Russia and all that right now, and Ukraine and all that. So a lot of people, it's just a thing you hear about on the news, and you don't see it, and it's wild.
Yeah, it's not real to them yet. Like it's not.
Bobby, I know that. I'm saying like you don't see it. You're blind. You're shielded from it. And it's like you see stuff on the news, but it's not as I feel like us here. We're at least in the United States. We're pretty shielded from a lot of that stuff. So,
right, and yeah, that's the thing is that we don't like seeing if you look at old Vietnam footage or World War II footage.
Yeah,
I mean it's insane. It's insane, and then we don't have that readily available for the other wars that we as Americans have fought. I'm sure it's out there. You got to dig for it, like. But you can go on Netflix and watch World War II in HD. You can and you can see the clips from Vietnam and stuff like that on Prime. I watched some on there, and Korea and stuff like that. But after Vietnam, they kind of really put a lockdown on it. So
yeah,
it's definitely, you're absolutely right. It's definitely still happening, but it seems more like fantasy land.
Yeah, and a lot of the. A lot of stuff too is back. And I think about that every time. We have militaries deal like fighting wars and shielding stuff, and we have communication, and we can call the police or we can call different things. But when you're on the frontier, every time I watch these shows, I'm like, that's some wild stuff. You don't know if a stranger's coming up. There's no phones. There's no way to know what's going on. They show up. You got to have your hand on your gun ready,
Right.
Or if you go back on your sword, you don't know who's there, and you scream for help. There's nobody coming. So it's like, people fighting wars with rocks and and their bare hands and no communication. It's a pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal back then. Where it's
And
wild.
Well, that's the thing too. That is one thing. Like we talked about, we didn't necessarily know that Western horror was a genre or a subgenre. But honestly, I'd like to see some more of them. And if hopefully they're good. If they're not, like, this is something that needs to be explored more, because it makes it more scary because of what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, like if they do it correctly, the horror, like you're just stuck. You're just like, there's nobody coming to help you. There's nobody that you can even call. Like that's what makes the horror a little more scary. Whenever he was like, the cavalry's coming, blah blah blah, and he was like, was that true? And he's like, no, that's not true. I just
I just told him that. Yeah. Well, I've thought about this like ever since watching a Gladiator, for instance. You know, his family's home is, you know, alone at home, and these people show up, and it's just like thinking about, like, you don't know who's showing up with a sword and what's going on, and it's like any old, you know, Spartan thing or anything like that. It's like, yeah, it's brutal, and it's up close, like, you know, Braveheart. They're out there fighting with rocks. You know what I mean? It's like it's crazy. So yeah, so when I say our modern generation is got it easy, you know, clearly there's terrible things happening all the time, all over the world, and there are places that are exposed to people having to, you know, live through things like this that I'm talking about. But man, you know, on our civilized, you know, world that we're living in, I'm sure glad I've never had to bludgeon somebody to death with a rock in my hand. You know what I mean? It's like I could at least speak for myself. I'm definitely spoiled, and I have friends that have had to you know, see and do terrible things in battle. I'm not discounting any of that, saying no, that didn't happen. Of course it happened, but as a society, I think overall, that was an everyday occurrence. You didn't know who you were going to have to kill with your bare hands, you know, 1,000 years ago. That could happen anytime, you know what I mean? Which is crazy. So anyway, what were we going to say?
No, I was just going to say there was a study I read a while back, and it's, you know, I don't remember the exact things, but the gist of it was, as far as recorded history goes, that these historians could tell, they did a whole study. There has never been any point in recorded human history where large segments of human society were not at war. Like they can't find, you know, because it was there. We remember the Pax Romana, you know, the 200 years of peace in Rome, but like that's just, and the Roman Empire was big, but like even including that, like they can't, like that just goes away, because there's, you know, other parts of it, like large segments of humans were killing off other humans even at that time. There's not one point in recorded human history where there was just peace, you know.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
it makes you wonder, like this is a show about movies. Let's talk about movies. This is my filter happening in real time.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Oh, here's the good ones. Explosion. Best explosion.
All right, let's do this.
Bone Tomahawk. Oh, man.
I remember he was carrying the dynamite.
Oh, that's right. Oh, my God. Man.
Damn hill.
What happened to that poor guy? I got to see that again. When you're carrying dynamite, you got to be very careful. Oh, there it is. Damn, that was brutal.
Yep.
Let's see, Burrowers. Oh my God.
Like that Burrower's like, just stab me with the damn stick. Just quit kicking me in the face.
Yeah. Oh, let's see that
just
again.
Kill me.
Oh man. Oh, damn, that's how you kill a burrower. That was messed up. That is messed up. So who had the best? We'll have to leave that to the chat. Who had the best explosion out of those two? While we're waiting for the responses,
that might be a tie. I guess. I imagine Smeagol. I imagine that Smeagol.
oh my goodness! Oh, goodness gracious! That's super stupid. Oh. Oh boy!
I keep thinking of Gollum from Lord of the Rings crawling up on him, and just kicking him in the face.
My
precious, my precious.
The most recycled vehicle explosion in movie history. Burrows after the sun comes up. Spontaneous spontaneous burrow combustion. Let's give it to Burrow, the Burrowers, Burrowers for that. Burroughs, the New York Story. Boom. All right.
Yes, humanoid. Yes, yes.
Oh boy. Let's see here. Best death kill. Best death or kill. Okay. Bone Tomahawk has this. Yikes! Oh my god.
And I even had to edit that one as well.
Yeah, that's brutal. How about this one? Oh man. Oh man, best kill right there. Oh.
Some of the best kills we could not show on this show, and I even had to edit that one just to be safe.
Bone Tomahawk would have won with the splits. The splits one
for sure.
Yeah, that's bad.
There's a lot of good kills in Bone Tomahawk, depending on your definition of good, but still, amazing to see.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And so, that like we've been talking about, Clint, there's a very similar scene like that to that in Terrifier.
Oh, really?
But Bone Tomahawk, honestly, Bone Tomahawk does it better.
Dude, Terrifier 2 is just moved into 1,500 theaters nationwide. It just
once people started passing out and stuff, they started making a crap ton of money.
Yep, they're like, okay, let's do this. So I haven't seen it yet, but hey, did you go see it?
No, I was waiting for it to come streaming, but now that it's making money, it's going to be forever before it comes streaming. So because it probably was going to come streaming like this weekend if it wouldn't made any money, but now that it's making money, but apparently my students have already seen it. They're like, "Have you seen Terrifier 2?" And I'm like, "No, is it streaming yet?" And they're like, "We can watch it online." I'm like, "But what's it streaming on?" They're like, "You can watch it online."
Kids will do that, man.
I'm like, I'm not going to put anything on my computer.
Which? Oh boy, let's see here. Do we do? No. Which one had the biggest plot hole? This is a red question.
I almost put the women of the Savage Tribe in there because like it's just you're not. I don't see how you could build a society like that. It's. I mean, maybe it's been figured out, but
Do you want me to? Do you want me to? Even still, they can talk. They got mouths. They can.
Yeah, but like somebody's got to take care of them babies, And I mean, you can't just,
You
push
can't
them
have
on a
a.
boob or something. Like, yeah, they can't even see. They're blind, and they can't like it. That
It's
I mean, I know
brutal.
they're going for they're
They're trying to make it brutal. Yeah.
going for the shock factor, but
Yeah.
it kind
It
of
worked.
doesn't make sense. So yeah, it worked.
So let's you lose a point for your
Sorry.
for your gross.
But it just, yeah, I mean, it doesn't. You gotta. There have been we just talked about for all of human history, there have been brutal societies, but they've had women that raise brutal children. The women still,
Yeah. We haven't had any. Let's see here. How about? All right. How about
maybe.
Some for breeding and others for raising? There you go. That might be.
But they didn't show the raising ones.
Let's see here. Best ending. Who had the best ending? Bone Tomahawk.
Then there were 3 more. At least somewhere.
You gonna make it, Sheriff?
No.
Positive? I am. I'm
And-
staying here. I intend to finish off the males.
Yeah.
Peter in my hands.
And he's got that thing stuck inside of him. It's gross. And you hear the gunshot, so you know he got him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we got Burrowers ending. Yep, and those things are feeding on that gross kid. Get over here, you piglet son of a bitch.
Yeah. Bone Tomahawk ending was amazing. Like Kurt Russell laying there with a flask sticking out of him, shot in the chest, and he's gonna die. And he's like, "I'm the sheriff." And he said, "I didn't show it there, but he's like, they know where Bright Hope is now. I'm gonna stay and kill the ones that are left, so they can't go back to the town." And he damn sure does, boy. At the very end, you hear those 3 gunshots, and it's like he got them.
Yeah, he did. And the hard-headed cowboy with the broken leg gets his wife back.
Yep.
And everyone wins. Except for the guy who got split in half, that deputy. He's seen better days.
Yeah, he lost. He lost a little bit.
What happened to David Arquette? They hate him.
Yeah, they ate him first because he wouldn't shut up. She said, I think that's what she said. O'Dwyer's wife. She's like, he wouldn't shut up, or she doesn't say that, but he wouldn't quit talking. They yelling and screaming, so they ate him first.
What a bummer. That's probably how I'm gonna go out. Like, Clint wouldn't shut the hell up.
Wait, is there any way possible way you can close that aperture?
All right, here we go. We got best love story.
You're feeling better last night.
Your remedy. Please come back.
Brought some fresh wives. Oh, there's some good people in trouble. And I got to do what I can for them.
Say goodbye to my wife. I'll say hello to yours.
Yep, that's a good one. Then you got
Fucking
best love story. How romantic. Get out of here, kid.
You need to get the Irish guy kicking that kid in the face. Get off of her.
hadn't even thought of that. That'd be hilarious. Good night.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Bobby's right. There's so many different love stories in Bone Tomahawk.
Yep.
And I didn't even put the main one, of course. Like, the O'Dwyer's him going to save his wife. But to me, the sweetest one was that scene. And it became so because of that line that Kurt Russell nailed. Like you said earlier, like
yeah, they really hit it home with that line.
Hey, yeah, and it was just perfect, And part of it too was Bruder saying like, "Oh, all y'all are married, y'all are stupid," blah blah blah, and like, but like all of them are fighting, for something they believe, and then and like you said earlier, if his wife hadn't got kidnapped, whenever she's like, he's cutting up the stuff, she's like, "Are you even sure they're alive?" Blah blah blah. You don't have to go. But if it was just old Nick and the Purvis guy out there, they'd be like, "Oh, they're dead, whatever." But that guy's wife got kidnapped, so I was like, "Damn it, we got to go save her."
Yeah, I really liked the old man. He even kind of gets upset about the other guy mentioning his wife. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
and all that. It's like there's a lot of love in this movie. Amongst terrible other things happening in this movie. There's some brutal, terrible stuff, but just good people trying to get other good people back, and stupid David Arquette had to lead all the evil into this situation. My vote's for Bone Tomahawk. Also, I agree with Bobby.
I agree as well.
All right,
it was beautiful.
Oh, so many points. You sure the pervy kid looking over his shoulder? I don't think anybody's watching.
We might. We can save this point until next week and come back to it, because I do have to think about that one more.
Yeah. I think I could get away with this. Is what I'm like. Yeah. What's translated in my brain? I was like, dude, this kid is pretty jacked up. But of course, he's just getting just an innocent peck. It's all it was. Come on, guys. Don't be.
He's like, he actually didn't die, and he grows up to be a stand-up comedian. He's like, you know what I hate? Whenever you're kissing a girl and she's half comatose, and then she starts moving her toes, and he's like, man, what's going on?
Oh boy, the sequel. Which one deserves a sequel?
Well,
that was for the comedy routine. Which movie deserves a sequel? Well, Burrowers, because Burrowers.
Yeah.
I
could see him making a. Go ahead. I'm sorry, sir.
I was just gonna say the bad guys are still alive at the end of Burrowers, so they're clearly going to attack somebody. Maybe they'll sleep for 3 generations, but they're going to get someone.
And that's like Bone Tomahawk. As far as we know, he gets them all. All the great main characters are gone, besides Chicory, and but Burrowers, like I keep saying remake, but they could use the first one as a starting point and make a very good sequel.
Mel mixed them up. Bone Tomahawk's the one with the torso moms. Torso mommies would be and that's something that could happen. They could spring out some troglodyte babies that can already hunt for themselves. They're like, they're like little babies about this tall,
Their little cannibal babies eat their way out of them, and they're like, ah.
The fun part is they would just probably run off the out of that cave. But yeah, I don't know.
They're born having a good sequel.
Born with tusks. The little babies already have their tusks. Ugh. I'm picking Burrowers.
And their mom's like, "Oh, let me look at you." Oh wait. No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the mom. Who knows how long they were been blinded, crippled there for forever. Like,
That's what I mean. The males obviously have to sustain them, so they're just going to starve to death. So they should have just put them down. Like it's
No, they probably just shove food in their mouths. Like,
Well, that's what I mean. But somebody's got to shove food in their mouth. So those poor fucking women are just like who've had an awful life are just going to starve to death now. So they should have shot them. Like, but I get your point. Like they're like, we got to get out of here. Let's go.
Like, let's go. They're not worth the bullets. Let's see here. So, Burrowers 2 wins. Fatality.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you gotta push them babies out of the nest. That's what's wrong with the society today. Ain't pushing them babies. Get out of here, baby.
Get out of that nest.
That
Piglet
disco
son of a
ball's
bitch.
hitting the neck. Piglet bastard.
Which movie made your butt pucker more? Oh, that's puckering. I'm puckered.
Dumb imbecile. You didn't know how to reload.
Dumb imbecile. Dumb imbecile didn't know how to reload. Oh boy.
You can even see Kurt's face whenever he's got it down there. He's like, "Oh God, no!" Like, and he's like, now he's like, "Okay, he just shot me in the chest." All
Now
right,
he's
okay.
like, get this nasty ass foot off of my chest. This guy's foot's fucking gross.
"Oh, that foot gets it later. Don't worry."
And what do you call it? There was one time where the casing of the bullet landed in his mouth and he spit it out. I think it was his. I think it was it was a coincidence. It wasn't an actual. I don't think that was planned. Okay, and then Burrowers butt puckering. Oh man, I'm puckered right now. Oh man.
Precious.
Yeah. Get him. Get him.
It came back around again.
Oh shit. Man, that was intense.
Yeah, it
Both.
came back around again.
Yep.
But yes, the split scene, absolutely. But again, we didn't know we wanted to show that one. And that's a good one, Bobby. Good call.
Oh,
The
that
foot
was
in
a
the
good.
trap, when he stands in that damn bear trap. Like that. Oh man.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. He can't get it off. He's like,
yeah. And you know what? In the scene, actually, like that's what but I was gonna pick whenever they're all there, and then like when you see the monsters start crawling up on them, like when it's that aerial shot, that was a really cool. I was gonna pick that for Buck Pucker scene, honestly. Like they're all within that area, and you don't know it yet. You think the Native Americans are just gonna kill that his buddy, but they're actually using him for bait because he's already dead anyway. But
little fish.
and yeah, he's a little fish, and you see all the burrowers start to crawl up on him with their trap there, and it's just like the CG. It's far away, so the CGI looks good, and it's just a really cool shot. And it may, but
Man.
if we could have shown some other scenes, and I didn't even want to show the scene where they put the flask in. I was going to put that one too. So
that made my butt pucker. It's like
Yeah.
when they stuck that flask basically into his side.
Yeah.
I was like, this is bad. This is brutal.
yeah,
And I
it's
thought
just
he'd
hanging
pull it
there
out
for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, he tried to
It's
get it
just-
out, and it burned his hand, and he had to leave it there. So it's just like it's stuck in there.
It's fused. Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh.
So terrible. So
He's
I'm
like, you gonna make it, Sheriff? No. Are you positive? I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah. Oh boy. Hold on here. I'm just seeing something. Like that species of bird that nests in cliffs and pushes babies off, and after a certain amount of time, if they fly, they live. If not, food for Arctic foxes. Not joking. That's pretty brutal. Mel's favorite question. That's right. Butt pucker.
I'm a butt pucker. Check it and see.
So, I think we all agree that the point should go to Bone Tomahawk on this one. Bone Tomahawk gets the point, which is a lot of points they got. Many a point have gone to Bone Tomahawk. Save. And all right.
They should just make a movie called Sheriff, where it's just Kurt Russell is an old West sheriff, like, and just walking around doing stuff.
And the final question: if you were on a flight and they only had one movie, which movie would you pick out of these two? For me, you want to know what I would pick? Damn, I'm way up here. I would pick Burrowers, because I think Bone Tomahawk's way too brutal to be watching on a plane. It's like embarrassingly brutal.
Yeah, yeah, especially I'm probably going to be sitting next to the kids, so I can go, sit down, leave that alone. What are you doing? And I don't want them seeing a human being split in half. So I'm going to go Burrowers as well. And plus, I do kind of want to rewatch. I'll probably revisit it at some point, because it was a good movie, and I do want to watch it again.
It was good.
And yes, Bobby, I know Tombstone, but I'm saying, like, they could just, besides Tombstone and this one, they could just make a movie called Sheriff, like, and it's just Kurt Russell walking around being the sheriff of an old West town, like, and nobody famous, nothing, and I'd just watch it, be like, all right, here it is. Oh, look at that, he's giving that guy a traffic ticket. Oh, that's amazing, like.
Yeah, smacking people. I'll slap you red.
You jaywalk like that again, I'm gonna tear in your hide.
Yeah, the part where he's scolding Billy Bob Thornton is classic.
Did I hear you use a double negative, boy?
Guys, if you haven't yet, subscribe. Look at the delay on that Versus logo. Oh, yeah. Good times happening here on Fridays, but not next Friday. Guys, next Friday, Curtis is going to be out of town, and I'm going to be out of town, and we're going to be out of town possibly in the same place at some point. So we're not doing the show next Friday. So we'll be back the following week, and we're trying to find a fantastic movie to come back with a vengeance, and we haven't planned it out yet. But as soon as we do, I will throw that on Twitter and Facebook, make a thumbnail for it, and we will get it figured out. So, we'll miss you, Mel.
We'll miss you as well, guys.
Yeah, chilling like Matt Dillon. So we're still talking about what we're gonna do. We will figure it out. But before we start even talking about that, we need to talk about our winner, guys. We have a winner.
Got a wiener?
We have a wiener. And the wiener is... First, just want to say, as far as fight scenes go, this is a honorable mention. Okay, I'm done with that. We got holy crap. We got 1, 2, 3.
It reminds me too of when your brothers and sisters are messing with you when you're a kid. That's basically what you do. Like, just leave me alone. I want you. I don't.
We got 18 against 7. It's a more than double the victory. A whole lot of victory for Bone Tomahawk. Holy crap. The winner of this week's versus Bone Tomahawk.
You win. Fatality.
That's right. Totally destroyed. Totally just conquered that the Burrowers. But the Burrowers was a surprise. It was a good movie. Like I thought it was going to be crap, and I was like, this is actually pretty solid flick. Like pretty good. So this is the widest margin in point, like between a win and a loss. What were you going to say, Curtis?
Our widest was Armageddon versus Deep Impact. It was
that a slaying?
Yeah, I think Deep Impact sadly got like 1 or 2. Like it was pretty bad. I have to look back at it, but that one was just a straight up shellacking.
A shellac. Well, man, guys, be sure to subscribe. And when I say subscribe, I mean yeah. Armageddon versus Bobby says agrees with you, man.
Yeah, I think that was our biggest.
That was it was pretty bad. And it was well deserved ass kicking because Armageddon was so much better than Deep Impact. So much better. Yeah. Well, cool, man. That does it for tonight. We love you guys. We appreciate you hanging out and talking with us and stuff. And we're going to be back the week after next. Yeah, the week after next.
Week after next.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll let y'all know as soon as we know what we're picking. And keep an eye out. I plan on having some new, because Halloween's coming real close. We'll probably have some new Bakertown videos up for the Halloween season. We're carving pumpkins and making Jello brains and stuff this weekend. So I plan to make some videos out of it and get it up there.
Yeah, and Curtis is going to be in town near me, and so we may throw a quick video up or something of us hanging out.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to a thing. I won't discuss our private life, but we're going to a thing where they have things, and we're going to be hanging out. So we may make a quick post that we throw up on YouTube, just a hello, and throw something out on social media and be like, yo, we're hanging out versus team assemble.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, all right, let's get the hell out of here, guys. Love you. We'll see you soon. Tune in next week. All that good stuff.
Tune in next week.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Yeah!